What's good, YouTube? Zeramus555 here, and as you guys can see, I got another deck profile for you today. Unfortunately, the quality is not going to be as good as it usually is. I'm still having issues with the Vita, and some annoying error code I have, so I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's Karakuris. This is pure Karakuris. It's completely different from either build. No Gen X Neutrons, no Cyber Dragons, none of that jazz. So, without further ado, I'm going to get right down to the deck profile. You guys can already see some weird choices, but I'll explain them to you as I get to them. So we have 3 Merchant, 3 Beauty, as I like to call her. It's Komachi, though. It's Beauty. We got 2 Kuick, 2 Soldier, 1 Haipa, because Haipa's amazing, 2 of the Strategists, and then 1 Watchdog. We got 3 Instant Fusions, 3 Cache, 2 Anatomies, 2 MSTs and a Storm, Pot of Avarice, because it's busted in this deck, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and Book of Moon. For traps, we have 2 Compulse, 2 Bottomless, the Solemn Brigade, 2 7 Tools of the Bandit, that one may surprise some people, and 2 Mirror Force. So, yeah, as you guys can see, it's 40 cards, very, very small monster lineup. Most people usually run a lot in Karakuris, mine's a lot smaller. Big trap lineup as well, but yeah, I'm just going to kind of talk about things here. So, obviously you have to run 3 Merchant, I'm not going to say much there. Right here, this is first turn Nat Beast. Now, this is very, very critical. If you open up with a really good, monster hand, trap hand, and then you open up with, her and this, or him and her, basically that's a first turn Nat Beast with a search. It's really, really good. Most people can't usually play around it if you go Nat Beast, set, Compulse, Bottomless, Warning, and a 7 Tools or something, or even Mirror Force. It's really, really hard to come back around from that play. This deck is extremely explosive. It's very, very kind of aggro. You just keep dropping stuff and until they just run out of resources. I'm only running 2 Kuick. I really, really, really like Kuick. I kind of want to run a 3rd one. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I had a 3rd one in the deck still. But, I mean, he's okay. He's really not big enough. I was either going to run 3 Kuick and 2 Soldier and no Haipa, but I decided Haipa was just too good not to run him. 2 Soldier, he's just your Battle Searcher. I was going to run 3, but I think 2's fine. 3's just like, it's too much. And then, of course, we have the 1 Haipa, really, really good with Anatomy, and also very, very good with the Burrito plays, which is obviously very important. 2 Nishipachi, he's amazing. You run him with Instant Fusion, and then also he's very, very good with Anatomy. You open up with him, Instant Fusion, this, and Anatomy. Amazing first turn hand. So, a lot of combos in this deck. I'll try and show you guys a couple. And then the 1 Watchdog staple. 3 Instant Fusion, that's so you can go into Cybersaurus and basically just make Burritos all day long, or level 8s. Very, very, very good. This is your Rhoda of the deck. I like this card a lot. Sadly, it's not as good as like most other search cards. It does require you to have the Karakuri on the field, but in most cases that's okay. Your opponent's going to wait for the warnings and stuff on your big Synchro guy, so you -1, but it's really not a huge deal. That's why I run the 7 Tools, and I'll get to those in a sec. Anatomy, this card's amazing. It's searchable. Both these are searchable via Merchant, which is amazing. And this is basically a 6 Samurai United, which you can get off really quickly. If you have a Beret on the field, you draw this, you're like, cool, I'm in a good spot. Because all you do is you switch the Beret's battle position manually, and then you're going to use this effect to switch him back. And that's 2 switches. You just go and draw 2 cards. Very, very good +1. 2 MSTs in the Storm. I don't like 3 MST. I used to like it just so you go off, but I am running the 7 Tools this time around just because my problem with MST is they might set 4 back row, and this format seems a lot more trap heavy than the last one. They might set, like, say, 4 back row, and you have the 1 MST in your hand, and you blind MST, and you don't hit the card you want. And then you know they have a Warning or Torrential set in your hooped. This can be the last card in the chain since it's counter trap. It stops the Warning and Judgment, so they pay 2 or even 4,000 life points. You only pay 1,000, and then you can go off and OTK them. Really, really good card. The 1 Avarice, not going to say anything about that because it's broken. In this deck, you can easily fill up 5 or even more monsters in the graveyard in 1 turn. It's so easy, and then you just Avarice them all back, get a plus, make a Nat Beast, all that fun jazz, draw into some traps. It's so good. This deck thins really, really fast. And then the staples, not going to say anything about those. Compulsory is one of the best traps, I'd say, this format. Since I'm not running Cyber Dragon anymore, I decided I need to have an out to Zen mains and Golem and stuff. I do have a hard time getting around big guys like that. Compulsory really helps, as does the Mirror Force. I'm not really too worried about Zen mains, to be honest, just because this deck can be like, boom, 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 make 3 massive beaters, and you just run over the Zen mains 3 times, or you switch his battle position and easily run over it 3 times, and then it dies. So I really don't have a big problem with Zen mains. One of the biggest cards in this deck actually is Thunder King. Thunder King really, really hurts this deck. That's why I opted for the 1 Haipa over the 3rd Kuick. And obviously, you know, the 2 Mirror Force, the Bottomless, and the 2 Compulsory really help to get that guy off the field as well. So yeah, I usually don't have a hard time with Thunder King. I just have to kind of play smart. But Thunder King's obviously going to be one of those cards that's coming back this format. It's going to be a lot more popular, so you have to watch out for it. Now, 2/7 Tools, as I explained, I think this is going to be one of the rogue cards of the format. I really didn't want to tell anybody this, just in case the card ends up going back in price, so I can pick up a bunch of ultras. But I think that now that it's a very trap-heavy game again, we don't have to worry. You know, not everyone's running 3 MSTs. Most people are just running like 2 in a Storm. We don't have to worry as much now about Inzectors, of course, because they're gone. There are Chaos Dragons that are still running around. They do run no traps, so you know it's essentially 5 dead cards in your deck. This deck can make Scrap Dragon pretty easily, though, so you can just pop. But 7 Tools is just such a very versatile and good card. When you think about it, the Solemn Brigade is still pretty much a staple in every single deck, and now a lot of decks are also running 2 Mirror Force and 2 Torrentials. Those cards can get some mega pluses, and they really hurt this deck. Now, some of you might be wondering why I didn't just run 2 Starlight Roads or take out, you know, both of these for a Starlight Road and maybe a 3rd MST. Now, my problem with that, once again, is Starlight Road's a great card, but it does not hit these bad boys, and these ones really hurt your day. They kill your Naturia Beast, they kill your Burrito, they kill your Bure, they can stop your Black Rose. I don't know how many times I've actually set this and then gone for a Black Rose play, and the guy's flipped up like Starlight Road, and I flip this up, and he loses. I hit like 4 or 5 cards. Or he'll flip up the Warning when I try to make the Black Rose. I flip up this, and I hit a bunch of cards. It's essentially the same thing as Starlight Road. It just, because most of the time, you know, Starlight Road only usually hits Torrential and Mirror Force, and the odd time it'll hit Dark Hole and Storm. Now, of course, this can't stop Storm, but I'm usually going to make Nat Beast set this and some other back rows. This is just my protection to protect the Nat Beast in case they have like Compulsory or something. It's really, really good, and once again, I just recommend this card to everybody. Try out 7 Tools of the Bandit again. I absolutely recommend the card. And 2 Mirror Force, some of you might be like, why aren't you running like 2 D Prisons or something? I like D Prison a lot. It's much better versus heroes. But this deck doesn't have too bad of a matchup versus heroes. I mean, I do have the Bottomlesses and the Compulse. And I can usually just like make bigger beaters than they can, or switch their Shining to defense and just OTK them. It's not usually a problem. And Mirror Force just stops OTKs. I just you know, this format is still OTK-ish. There's gonna be other Karakuri decks and whatnot running around. So I just think Mirror Force is a far better card. So that's the deck, guys. It's 40 cards. I'll have the deck list down below. I'm just going to quickly show you the extra deck here. I'll just move the traps aside for a sec. This isn't the full extra deck. This is just the cards that I recommend that you should be running if you are running this build. Once again, this build is extremely budget. If you guys want a very competitive budget build, the most expensive card you can probably see right here is most likely the... you know, obviously the Solemns and stuff, but I mean, you can get those as commons, or these are coming out as commons, the Warnings, in the new Legendary Collection. But really the most expensive card in the entire deck is going to be your Bures. Burrito just got reprinted as a gold, so he's much easier to obtain. This guy's still about a $15 alti. I think he's going up in price because Karakuri, excuse me, Karakuri Georgias are gaining in popularity. But yeah, other than that, the deck is very, very cheap to build. It's all commons, as you can see. Literally commons, 1 alti, which is worth $1, and then the 3 rares, these are about $2 each. So very, very budget deck. The instant fusions are about $1, $2. So yeah, it's very, very cheap. So yeah, you run 2 Burrito. I would never run 3. You just don't have the room for it. 2 Burrito is really, really good. I love Bure, but most of the times I'll just go for like the double Burrito play and go into like a Nishipachi. He switches, I draw 2. And then you just set everything, and then, you know, sometimes you even might, it's really good because what you can do as well is you can go, I do this play actually a lot, you go Burrito, if you haven't somehow used her extra effect yet, you're going to go like this, and then you're going to, say you have a merchant in hand, you're going to normal summon the merchant, get his extra effect, and then you're going to search out a Cash Cache, you're going to activate it, you're going to grab yourself another beauty, we'll say, add her to hand, and then you're going to switch this guy, you draw 2 because of the effect, and then you're going to synchro up for Naturia Beast. So it's really, really good. You got 2 Burritos, and the awesome thing is, like, every turn you can just go like this, draw 2 cards. Next turn, switch them back, draw 2 cards. And it's just like, it's so busted. This deck can draw like 3 or 4 cards every turn if you have the right hands. It's got insane draw power, insane thinning. Very, very fun. Anyways, yeah, so 2 Burrito. I've never run 3 as well. 2's just perfect. You have the Avarice, so you can send all the stuff back. MVP of the deck is Landois. I am running quite a few spells, as you can see, and they can be dead sometimes. Landois just puts in so much work. You get a Landois and a Nat Beast out with a couple spells in your hand, maybe a trap card or 2. You win. It's just like so hard for your opponent to get over it. A lot of times all it fields like this: Bure, Landois, Nat Beast, and your opponent just scoops. You can't play around it. Very, very, very good. And then last but not least, these are the last 2 cards you will absolutely need for the deck, and that's 2 Cybersaurus. It's a very, very good card. You can Monster Reborn it after it's been instant fusion, so if you have the Saki hand, you can actually go off pretty consistently. But yeah, you grab it with instant fusion, and you special summon it. Now, the reason I'm running instant fusions now over Cyber Dragon, I might cut one of the instant fusions out and something else and run 2 Cyber Dragons instead. We'll see how the format goes with the whole Thunder King Ryo thing. But instant fusions is really good. You pay 1,000. As you guys can see, I'll pay a lot of life points in this deck, but like I said, you OTK, so it's not a big deal. But you pay 1,000 and you special summon one of these guys, and then the best thing about it compared to Cyber Dragon requires your opponent to have a monster in the field. That's the first problem. The second problem is that if you already have field presence and you drop Cyber Dragon, so you already have this thing on the field, you can't play it. The amazing thing is, this deck just like baits out Valor like it's nothing. You just go like this, and a lot of times people will see her hit the field and they're like, oh crap, he's going to go off Valor, because they don't want you to get that free 2,600 beater on the field. So what you do is you just play the instant fusion in that sense, and you go into Burrito, and then you can go for Haipa or the switch you do, and you draw a card, and you go +1, basically +2 because they minus themselves off the Valor, and then you're still stuck with a big 2,800 beater on the field. So it's really, really good. Anyways, guys, that's the deck profile. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out my other videos. All the deck lists down below. If you guys have any questions about the deck, feel free to PM me. Other than that, you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Peace!